I am writing a paper on the history of computer vulnerabilities for a networking security class in information technology. So I'm going to open up browser. Firefox is my choice because it is my favorite browser. Immediately I go to the Google search bar. Well, let's make sure it's on Google first. It's not, so I'm going to change it to Google. In the browser settings, I'm making it my default browser so that I can use mostly this search engine for my results. Google is generally the first place I look for any information because it gives a very large pool of information to grab from. So I'll just start. I'll start with just a phrase. I'm clicking a different phrase that Google is suggesting for me, possibly for better results. I'm going to also open up a new window and a text box so that I can keep track of any links or search results that I go for. Now, in the search results, I see a bunch of credible websites. I see a bunch of corporation websites, Wikipedia. I'm going to click on this Wikipedia first because it'll give me a very large directory of links that I can click to get information on things that I don't even know the name of. Now, the search terms that I'll use to conduct the research, I will draw from this website. So if I'm ever unaware of what word I'm looking for this is a technical thing, so I have to find the correct wording to use to be able to find what I'm looking for. So there's a complex list here, and obviously this would take a lot of time to go through each one, but if the research called for it, I do have a large pool of information here just from this website. Doing another Google search in the browser at the top, just for ease of access. Now, when I search computer vulnerabilities, Google gives me the standard definition of what a computer vulnerability is, but that's not enough. That's just one string. So what I'm going to try to do is combine two phrases using quotes so that when Google conducts the search, I can find one phrase that has another phrase included somewhere in the article or website. So computer vulnerabilities plus history. Do a search on that. I get several government and military websites and some education websites. Now, I do see some ads here, so I'm never going to click on websites that are indicated as ads because those do not have credible information. It is an assumption that they do not have credible information, but I'm going to limit myself in my sources. So I'm going to take a look at this comprehensive database of computer vulnerabilities. And this is a government website. Now, the link I clicked on has sort of left me at a dead end because it's simply a summary of information. It is a credible website because at the bottom there are numerous links to government policies and things like that. Um, just to make sure, I scroll my mouse over any contact emails or anything like that. So if the contact email is of a government agency as well, then the website is probably credible. However, this doesn't necessarily help me in my goal of finding information because all this is a summary. So I'm going to click this link at the end of this paragraph to see where it takes me. It takes me to the National Vulnerability Database, which is a very credible source. I am familiar with this website. It says it's an agency of the U.S. Department of Commerce, which is a little bit surprising. I would think it would be in a Department of Defense or something, but I can see a ton of different information to pull from. Vulnerabilities, I'll click on that. Also, I'm going to open the About tab, about the page, in a separate tab. So what this website is used for is the automation of vulnerability management. So it sets up a system for people to automatically upload any possible computer vulnerabilities. Now, this has not always been around. So this is not a complete list of any vulnerabilities that go back probably past since the inception of this website. Now, to find out how far back this website actually goes, I would have to find out when this website was actually created. So I would do another Google search. And I'll include the string date of creation. And the top result brings me to a separate part of their website where it lists information about the inception of this organization. So this organization has been around since computers have been around. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that this website has vulnerabilities dating back 40 or 50 years. So I'll do a search on the website and see how far back that takes me. It is a blank search, but it is taking a long time to load. So while that's loading, I'll go back to the Wikipedia category of computer security exploits, which has all these various attacks. But it doesn't show them by date. So I'm going to do another Google search with separate strings and quotes. two separate strings, earliest computer plus hacking techniques, and see if that comes up with anything. Now, the information from this result is not as good as I would like, so I'm going to go to this search tools in Google and perhaps change the range of time to gather from the past year. Now, as I scroll and look through this page again, I'm not finding very good, credible sources specifically on the topic that I'm looking for. There is one credible source from Lockheed Martin, which is a defense contractor. I do have to make sure this is 100% credible. There's an author, the date it was posted, check the information about the Lockheed website. They have things concerning W-2 forms, so it sounds like this is an authenticated website in some manner. Now, this article could be useful actually, because it's a web article written by someone else, published on Lockheed Martin's blog, but it talks about a type of attack that's been around for a long time. It even says in the article that this is one of the original types of hacks, and that it's still a big problem today because the only thing that has to happen is a programmer has to make bad code for this to be able to happen. And coding has been around for a very long time. So that might be near the beginning. Also, what might help me is searching for the earliest models of computer. So, going to go through this, and Google is helpful and it provides me lots of different types of questions that are related to this question. So I'll go ahead and expand those and see if those are relevant. I'm actually going to go back here and go back to this Lockheed website and copy down this link for further use at a later date. Paste that in. So far, I've only found one source that's credible, and I'm not going to list the Wikipedia category list in my list of sources because I'd prefer to use a source from an article on Wikipedia instead of just listing Wikipedia itself. Now, I'm aware of a thing called phreaking, so I'm going to search that. And phreaking is a early slang term for people who break into telecommunication systems, and those are forms of computers. And this was around in the 80s. So just from this search result, I can find 20 plus credible sources. Now, they're not all automatically credible, but the fact that they're linked here, is that it?